Have you ever found something you knew you should never touch? Curiosity has destroyed more people than fear ever could. Whispering. If you're listening to this story alone, lock your door. My name is Ethan Brooks. 3 months ago, I disappeared. The police found my truck. They found my phone. They found my wallet. They found my camera. They never found me. Everything you're about to hear came from the last recording I ever made. It started after I returned to my old cabin in Black Pine Forest. I hadn't been there for 5 years. The place had no electricity, no running water, nothing. It was supposed to be empty. As I walked toward the cabin, I froze. The lights were on. I stood there for almost a minute. Someone had to be inside. I called out. No answer. The front door was already open. I knew I had locked it years ago. I stepped inside. The cabin was silent. Too silent. Dust covered the floor. No fresh footprints. No signs anyone had lived there. Then, I heard it. Gasping. One knock. It came from above me. I looked at the ceiling. Nothing. Another knock. This time, louder. I grabbed my recorder. If someone was inside, I wanted proof. A whisper filled the room. It wasn't loud. It sounded like someone standing, inches from my ear, whispering in terror. "Don't stop recording." I spun around. No one was there. My heart started racing. I searched every room. Nothing. The whisper came again, whispering in pure fear. "Don't look up." I slowly raised my flashlight toward the attic door. The ladder was already hanging down. I swear, it wasn't like that when I came in. Every step I took made the wood groan. The air became colder. The smell changed. Wet soil, old wood, something rotten. I reached the attic. Broken boxes, an old rocking chair, a cracked mirror. Nothing else. Then, the rocking chair moved, very slowly, back and forth, back and forth. There wasn't any wind. The chair stopped. I pointed my flashlight at the floor. Someone had carved words into the wood. Terrified. "Do not look up." I felt something drip onto my shoulder. I touched it. A thick, black liquid covered my fingers. Against every instinct, I looked up. 2 pale eyes stared back at me from the darkness. They never blinked. Then, something rushed across the attic. I fell backward through the opening and hit the floor below. The attic door slammed shut. 3 knocks echoed through the cabin. Not from the attic, from the front door. Someone, or something, was knocking from inside the house. I ran toward the front door. It wouldn't open. I unlocked it again. Nothing. I pulled with all my strength. It felt like someone was holding it shut from the other side. Then I remembered something. The knocking had come from inside. Slowly, the handle began to turn. No one was touching it. The door opened by itself. Outside, the forest was completely silent. I didn't wait. I ran. Branches scratched my face. Leaves snapped beneath my feet. I didn't know where I was going. I only knew I had to keep moving. Then I heard footsteps. Not behind me, beside me, keeping the same pace. I pointed my flashlight toward the sound. Nothing. The footsteps continued. Then, I heard my own voice. Shocked whisper. "Ethan." Shocked whisper. "Don't stop!" I froze. No one should have known my name. The voice came again. This time, closer, whispering. "If you turn around," whispering, "you'll never leave." I started running again. The flashlight died. Only the moon lit the path. A little girl began crying somewhere in the trees. Crying voice. "Dad." Crying voice. "I'm scared." The crying moved, left, right, behind me, everywhere. I covered my ears. It didn't help. The voices became louder. Hundreds of whispers surrounded me. Every one of them said the same words, whispering from all sides. Keep recording. Whispering. Keep recording. Suddenly, I saw headlights. A police SUV was parked beside the road. A deputy stepped out. He looked shocked. "You okay?" I could barely speak. Panting. "There's a cabin. Something's inside." The deputy stayed silent for a moment. Then he asked, "What cabin?" "The old cabin, in Black Pine Forest." His face turned pale. "There hasn't been a cabin there for 22 years. It burned down. No one survived." I looked back toward the forest. There was no cabin, only darkness. I couldn't understand what I had seen. The deputy drove me to the station. I handed him my recorder. I thought everything was over. I was wrong. The detectives listened to my recording the next morning. Everything was there. My voice, the knocking, the whisper, the footsteps. Then, they reached the final 30 seconds. One detective stopped the audio. "Did you add this?" I shook my head. "I've never heard that part." He pressed play again. A calm, cold voice filled the room. Slow, monotone voice. "If you're hearing this." Slow, monotone voice. "It's already too late." 3. Slow. Knocks followed. Knock, knock, knock. The recording ended. No one in the room spoke. The detective checked the file. Those final 30 seconds had been recorded 12 hours after I handed over the recorder. No one could explain how. That night, I couldn't sleep. At exactly 3:13 a.m., 3 knocks echoed through my apartment. Knock, knock, knock. I looked through the peephole. No one. Then, my phone vibrated. An unknown number had sent a single audio file. Its name was Last Recording 2. I never opened it. The next morning, I was gone. Police found my apartment unlocked. My wallet was on the table. My phone was charging. My keys were beside the door. Only one thing was missing. Me. If you ever find an old recorder in the woods, leave it where it is. Because some recordings, deep whisper, never stop recording.